Chapter 7, The Bible Through the Lens of Science. We will now turn our attention to the Bible, in particular the first book of the Bible, Genesis. We will address the issue, how useful is the Bible in uncovering science and shedding light on the creation story? As we examine the Bible, we will notice new challenges that were not present in earlier chapters. Previously we dealt with numbers, but now we deal with words. We must interpret the words. And though this additional step may seem like a hindrance, interpretation is not necessarily a bad thing. And it's through that process we understand what we are reading. We must consider the Bible's context, especially in terms of our discussion of science and faith. The Genesis writer, thought to be Moses, did not write directly to us, but to a contemporary audience. This does not mean that the underlying lessons cannot be applied to us today, but it does mean that we should be careful before we use the scientific description of Genesis literally. Not only was Genesis in the Old Testament written for the ancient Hebrew culture, but that culture also did not exist in isolation. The Hebrews were very aware of the stories and myths of the surrounding pagan societies. God did not call people to forget those stories, though he demanded that his people separate themselves from pagan religious practices. Just as we are familiar with popular stories of our day, so were the Hebrews familiar with pagan myths of the creation account. And it was in this context that the Genesis writer penned the creation stories. We'll explore these stories and these questions and take a deeper dive into Genesis 1 and the creation.